Today we're all about templates, you know, plastic templates, those reusable, inexpensive tools that last forever and ever. That's what we're talking about.
And today it's all about gatefold cards and an envelope,
Right.
and lots of fun ways of using them.
Right. That's what we have to say?
Yes?
Come play with us. Well, just like Gail said, we are all about gatefold cards. Now, we do have mini one with a matching envelope, but we're going to start with the label gatefold, the big one.
Right.
The adult version.
Right. Now, you're going to have, we'll see. I didn't measure this, whether this will fit on a 12 by 12 or can you use an 8.5 by 11 for this sheet of paper. I'm going to find out right now.
Okay. You're going to bring in an
8.5 by 11 and yes, it fits.
Just fit.
So you can use an 8.5 by 11 paper or cardstock for this card.
And like all of the templates for card making, you have obviously the patterns that you'll be cutting out of cardstock.
Right.
However, you also have some paper patterns, and those patterns are designed so that they will fit within the areas of your card.
Right.
The card will become like a mat around that paper pattern.
So you'll have a nice little border around the outer edges of that paper.
Do you want to see a finished card?
Let's do that.
Okay, so you can kind of see
really
what's going
how
on.
It works.
This is a label gatefold, so there's our label, and that becomes the focal, kind of the window into the center of the card, and you can see how this opens up. Isn't that cute?
That's such a nice look.
Yeah, get in closer again,
Great.
John. John, okay, there we go. So we've got the holly jolly, and then we open it and expand, and then we've got the holly.
That's why it's so jolly.
Yeah, there you go.
So, and that's a great Christmas card, but of course the label gatefold can be used for any kind of event or whatever.
Exactly.
And just really briefly, I want to show you, if you're not familiar with our templates, they have like a grid pattern in the back, so it's easy to line up with edges of paper. And really, here's your main card that's going to be traced. If it was me, I would put the edge of that cutout right on the edges of that paper.
Sure.
So you only have to cut around the outside, and then you want to trace.
After you put on your glasses, huh?
You didn't see that. Now she told you, darn it. Anyway, there's that card on there. The lines are cut. And they are separated by little divisions here on the template, because if we cut it all the way down, then you wouldn't have much of a template. And you're going to go ahead, you would trace all the way around for the large card.
Can I give a tip right now?
Sure.
Okay, you're going to do exactly what Gail tells you, of course. Now, what I do is after I've drawn all my lines, which I know you're going to draw some more lines, I would hold this in place and lift up my template. That way I can do a visual check. Did I get all the lines drawn?
That's a good idea.
That way it's just before you lift it up. And now
you
go.
know, it's kind of funny, but it is really, I've done that 100 times. It's really easy to miss one line as you're going through. But you're also going to trace along the lines where it says mountain fold or valley fold, and they do tell you what each of these are going to be. And because those are going to be the score lines, and then you're going to trace around the areas that you're going to cut, because you're going to need to cut out the window for the gatefold, and there's going to be 2 of these windows on here because they match up in the center. So when you're all done tracing it all out, then you'll have the areas where you're going to cut, you're going to cut out the center, and then you'll have the lines where you're going to score. And to score, you can use a scoring tool like this will work actually. You can place a ruler right along that line and score along the score line.
This is a bone folder.
Right, but it makes a nice edge there for scoring, and then afterwards you can fold it so that you get the look that you see with the gatefold.
Opening this up again, so the way it's been folded, these 2 windows are going to come together. There they are, separate, just as you saw on the template.
Right.
And then they come together and make a center one exactly
now,
like that.
while we do sell these as die-cut cards,
yes, we do.
The ingenious part about having it as a template is that you can use it on any color cardstock you want, because we only sell them in white.
Right.
So this one was done in red, and then of course you've got the paper patterns that you can put on any kind of patterned paper or anything else you like, and the label too, which you can use.
Yeah. Put on the envelope.
Put it on the inside of the card.
And just like the paper pattern that's on the template, see how this is designed so that your card is the mat of it. So it cuts out a step.
There's that border we talked about. And see, the cut that was done on both sides gets folded over, so you can see that cutout there, and creates that opening in the center. It's just ingenious. Right. Really.
And notice on this card, as it was designed, there's a piece, this huge die cut that's overlapping the right-hand side. And so you just simply, of course, glue it to the left.
And it doesn't interfere with anything. It's just, I love that the paper was actually cut. And this is the new Winter's Garden paper.
Exactly.
So that artwork was down here, and the die cut just sits right over it.
In fact, that set of die cuts looks like this. So you would think, gosh, now I'm not sure I could use those on cards. But not only can you use them on cards, but they are really effective.
Really.
So this giant sprig was trimmed off and used right here. And the snowman, there's the little guy right there, with hearts.
Some of the just very quickly. And the Holly Jolly, I believe, was used from the 3-pack of Christmas greetings. Oh,
this one?
Right. The 3-pack Christmas greetings, and I love the 3-packs because that means you get 3 different finishes of the same sentiments.
In this case, the mirror red, the pearl gold, and then the black. So all 3. And the other thing I just noticed is, okay, look at this die cut. It's really a nice big piece.
Right.
But what they did was
I think they used the other one just before it's this one. I think that one was put right on the front.
Oh,
See if I turn it like that.
Okay.
You could use the other one and cut it and then use
that's what I was
part of
thinking.
it. Yeah.
Oh, but you're right. This little sprig is used down here.
And a couple
okay,
of
and then after you do that, you do get 2 sheets of these.
Right.
So and then when you want to make your third card, you can take this and trim it and use it both ways.
Absolutely.
There we go. Okay.
Because you've got a lot of the same image, and that's actually a really good point. That's the same.
Very fun. Very, very fun. So that is one, and kind of had the Christmas spirit going. Here is another one using the same
we've
dazzles.
Still got the 3-pack of dazzles, but we've just popped on some die cuts very simply. This is from is this an Artful Card Kit, I believe?
Okay. This is Santa Baby, must be.
Or something like that.
There you go.
I'm not quite certain now.
See the gallery.
Please see the gallery. It looks like an Artful Card Kit to me, and I'm sorry I didn't check on that for you. But anyway, just pop those dazzles on there. Not dazzles, but those die cuts. Yeah, the dazzles in the center. And then a few of these bling right here on the centers of those.
One thing about the bling is that you can see right here different sizes were used.
Right.
And these happen to come in a pack with multiple sizes together. And that's just really a nice service because you don't have to buy multiple packages that way. Now, non-Christmas, because as we said, this is year-round.
Right.
But again, it just draws you in to love you more than chocolate. That's also a small stamp.
Okay, so something on all 3 of the cards that we've seen, there's only 1 sentiment on here. You put that in the center, and then you can see it from the front of the card and on the inside. So you don't have to worry about, what am I going to say on the inside?
You're exactly right. Now, look at that whole array of flowers on the front. Just really fun.
Those are those great little hydrangeas, right?
Yeah, right. They're kind of velvety.
Is that what they're called? Or velvet hydrangea?
Yeah.
I think so.
Beautiful.
Are. And this is with the Christmas Sweets paper pack. But the great part is that because you used the template, you were able to put it on craft cardstock.
Now in this case, just that sentiment. And here's where the label goes. So you end up having 2 pieces. And there's one, put the other one on the envelope if you like.
So while that label can be traced from the template, you could also use these if you were careful and cut them out with an X-Acto knife.
Right. just very...
A very fun
very,
card.
yeah, very,
I love
very
that.
nice.
I love all of the flowers down at the bottom.
You want to see another idea?
Okay, yes, please.
Look at this.
I know this one.
Yes, you do know that one. Does that look familiar to you? This is using the Dazzle Doll stickers. And look at her. So the greeting is up here, the hello. And then look at that little beauty. Wow, best wishes.
So that's fun with Dazzles, and you can back that doll on different kinds of specialty paper for her hair and part of her dress. And then the other papers were colored in with Spectrum Noir pens, or excuse me, with the chameleon pens.
Okay.
That's why you have that gradient of the darker up to the lighter.
And I love the gold ripple paper behind her hair and the sash. Yeah, gorgeous.
So a lot of fun to create that one. And what a focal. So you've got that gatefold opening right in the center.
So you've got a fun surprise as you open it. Yes, this is a fun card.
It is. These are the chameleon pens, and this one was done with the cool pen tones. I think there was 2 sets used, but they're really simple to, you charge that, and you can see the webisode all about the chameleon pens or the product video.
So as you can see, the label gatefold is just a good basic design that's, you can use it for so many as we said, seasons and reasons, and this is just a good example of it.
Okay, I think we're getting into our other template.
Now, this is a combination. So we have a mini gatefold, and this one has 5 different shapes on it.
Right.
So very different. And then because it makes an differently sized card.
It's a 4-inch by 4-inch card.
Thank you. We have a mini template to go with it.
For a mini envelope.
Right.
Which is great because now you have just the right size of envelope for those smaller cards.
So let's bring one in so you can see both the card and the envelope. Here is the card. Now, this was done using the label, and it's a medallion label, but a dazzle was placed, and as you know, gatefold cards are going to open just like our label did. It's going to open like so. Isn't that pretty?
So gatefold, meaning it's like a gate that ends up in the middle like that, and you've got those 2 flaps that Paulette is holding on to that are part of that design. Now, it looks like one big long card.
Yes.
But in actuality, the way it's put together is with 3 pieces. So when you use the template, you've actually got this piece here, which is your card base, and then you cut 2 of a side piece that has a butterfly or a medallion or a heart or a dragonfly or a flower on the side of the card. And I've got 3 of those pieces that were traced and cut from this one. So there's the card base. And then you cut 2 of whatever you choose. I chose the heart so that you've got these 2 side pieces. So now it looks like that right at the moment. This is going to be a heart. And on the ends, there's just a little bit of an angle, and on the ends of what's going to be a tab here, I've scored that, and then you fold it like so. So now you've got this tab, it's about a 1/2 inch, 3/8 of an inch there, and then on the right side as well. I've also scored right next to that heart, so I'm going to fold that heart back. And I would use the bone folder to make sure these are nice folds all the way along there. And then I'm going to attach that right here, and I would use Ultra Tape. It's the best tape for this. It's a double-sided tape. Put a piece of Ultra Tape there, and then you set it on here. Ultra Tape comes in 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch.
Right.
And I would use the 1/4 inch for this one. It fits great. Just put a piece of Ultra Tape on there, peel off the other covering, and then go ahead and set the base on top of that tab so that the tab is actually on the back and you don't have to see it from the inside of your card. And then that folds over this way.
Do the same thing on the other side.
On the other side, and then there's that heart in the middle that you were looking for. And that's the way it's done with each of those mini gatefold cards. So you'll end up with a heart in the center, or a butterfly, or a medallion like the one we were looking at, and then they open up just like so.
And leaving that heart right there, there's also a smaller heart, so that if you wanted to have a centerpiece, so to speak, you would just glue it to the left-hand side, but it would fit perfectly within.
Which is exactly what was done on this card. So you'll see that with each of them you have this option. You can just leave it a gatefold just like that and decorate both sides and open it up very simply like that. Or you can add that centerpiece, which in this case was the heart. In that case was that medallion in the center.
Now, I do want to show you something. You might say, well, why did you make it 3 pieces? Why didn't you make it 1? Because after all, this could fit on the template. Well, our decision was that's exactly true, but you could only get 2 per template. We wanted to give more options. And since the construction of that base piece is exactly the same for all of them.
And it's so simple, really.
Yeah, it's a rectangle.
Then you have all of these options of all of these other designs, which I think is a wonderful way to have all of your all that many choices.
Right. So we've given you 5 on this one template, and then giving you also the inner shape that can go on top of the design.
And
so
typical for the hot off the press templates, we do give lots of ideas on all of our templates, and this one shows, here's just the gatefold.
Now there's the butterfly.
Right.
There's the butterfly with the second piece on top.
Piece on it. But it also shows you can mix and match. You can do the flower and put a heart in the center, the heart with a butterfly. So lots of different ways of using them, and very good instructions for how to put this very simple card together.
So here is the card. Now, what about the envelope?
Okay, the envelope is here. It's that mini envelope. And if you were to trace this mini envelope, you would go around the outside edges all the way around, and then you've got score lines. You're going to trace those lines so that you can score them. These pieces you see in the center are labels that you don't necessarily put them within your envelope. You put them on a different piece of paper. But I do have one that was traced and cut out. And the cool thing about this is put it on double-sided paper.
Ooh, yes.
So any of the paper packs, you can trace these and cut them out from double-sided paper. Then you've got an inner and outer pattern on your envelope.
Very nice. Good use of double-sided.
Right, and if you use a paper pack, for instance, with this one, maybe you could make a matching envelope.
Just like so. Just happen to have this.
With that double-sided paper.
And decided to give a decorative edge. And this all is using the Christmas chalkboard cheer dazzles.
Right.
Now again, these are bigger dazzles, but don't they do a nice job on card making as well as scrapbooking?
I love that envelope. It does come with that decorative edge. That's part of the template. If you felt like you wanted to make it a more masculine card, afterwards you could just cut that off and then you have a straight edge. But I don't think guys would mind that. I think that's kind of nice. But as far as putting that together, once you have that all cut out, you've got these score lines. They have been scored. You fold in the side tabs first, and then you fold up the bottom, and you glue just the edges here onto those tabs. And there's your envelope, and then this just folds down from
Can
the
I
top.
do that for a second?
Sure.
Okay, so because I've done envelopes and taught them so long, here's how I say the wings in, the side wings, the bottoms up, and the top down. Okay. There you go. Wings in, bottoms up, top down. That's it.
Sounds like a convertible.
And you can see that the envelope is a generous one. We did that just in case you wanted to tuck something in, because this is really a nice size to be included maybe with a gift card, maybe with some other present. And so it just tucks right in.
These are really simple to make. I mean, if you turn these into Christmas cards, that's a real simple and quick Christmas card for a special person. I mean, that's great. But like we said, they don't always have to be for Christmas.
They don't. As a matter of fact, here is a beautiful one. And here's an example of taking the shape, in this case the heart, and in this case using the paper towel on top of it. Isn't that a gorgeous
Just beautiful. Piece? Now, I think, is that the paper towel? No, that's the label that was traced and cut out from the template to put on the inside.
So multiple uses, but isn't that stunning? And you can see,
beautiful look.
This is the letterpress paper towel, and it is this piece. And this is a number 2 step. It's actually designed to go on top of this.
Right.
But with paper towel, you can separate the numbers. You can separate the pieces.
So you can use the smaller piece. It's just perfect for this, and some of the extra artwork pieces.
That would work nicely.
Right.
This would be lovely.
Sure.
There's lots of things.
Lots of options there, and then a few little dazzles, which I believe were colored over, maybe with with an ink pad. So maybe a timber brown put right onto the gold of those beautiful dazzles.
And then again, just opening that up, just very striking. And because it's a template, you can make this out of brown cardstock or any color that you want. And we have a matching envelope. Just stunning.
Beautiful. These are the letterpress papers. It took me a minute to remember that.
But again, the double-sided is so, I mean, we love double-sided papers, but you're only using one side for the most part. Here's an excellent example of being able to maximize your paper power.
And while you can make these envelopes out of cardstock, it's going to be a lot more difficult. They're going to be nice and sturdy. You can do it, but I just kind of like them on the paper. It just gives more of an envelope feel to it.
I think you're right. I think so. Okay. Now here is the dragonfly, and look at this. So bringing in some specialty paper and some embossing powders, you can see that the green glitter, this is the Wow embossing powder, which is our favorite, and this is the Glamour Green.
Glamour Green. So there's a little of both going on there, and this is also done in the silver as well. And this was done with the Serenity paper pack. So you've got this great wood grain back there, and if you're wondering why the actual gatefold part is looking silvery and embossed, I can show you how that was done. I'm not going to do all the steps of it, but I'll show you how it was put together. So here are the pieces. That base was cut, so you know that the two side pieces were cut. I'm going to move that base out of the way, and there was another piece that was placed on top. And to get this, I went ahead and scored it so that I knew I was going to be folding that back for the card, and I scored because I know that I'm going to be folding back this dragonfly, and there will be one on each side, one on this side,
so that's a half a body
side. But this is the side that I wanted. Once it's closed, it's going to be sitting like that, and we're trying to make it so you can see it. That half of dragonfly will be on this side, and the other half will be folded on the other side, like so.
Would it help to see it?
That might be. So this is the way it's going to look, and then I'm going to take one of those, and then I'm going to flatten it out again. I know that this is the front. That's what I was doing. I'm determining where the front of that dragonfly was. Then I open it up, lay it out flat. I take my Versamark, and I use it just on the dragonfly. So right up to the edge of the card, I put Versamark all over that dragonfly. And then I sprinkled it with the silver embossing powder. So I'll put this underneath there. And I'm not going to heat set it because you know what that looks like, but I am going to show you that once you just get the Versamark on one side of it, and I did this for both sides of the card.
You know, I would have been afraid that the silver wouldn't cover the black cardstock, but no problem.
No, really no problem. And if it gets on here, I will brush that off a little bit. And there you go. And then you heat set it, and you get what you're seeing on the card there.
So it's going to get very shiny, very glittery. And then that secondary piece, you did the same thing. You covered it with Versamark, brought in the green glitter.
In the green. I also added a little bit. So after you set it, then you touch it up with a little more Versamark and add that green on the edges. And here's one of the little extra artwork dragonflies that you can trace and cut out and use up there.
And you've got another one down there, and then when we open it, we have an area for you to write your message or greeting or put more dazzles.
So that extra piece that we show, those extra wings, we trace those cut out, and those only get, and I actually foam taped it onto the left side so that when you open it, it sort of goes with it.
There we go.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
And the hello, I like how it's going along the edge of the wing. Very nice. And a coordinating envelope.
Right. And with this one, I actually Versamarked the edge, gilded it a little bit, and I used the label shape there are two label shapes
from the template.
From the template. From mini envelope.
So
remember
you
those
used both of them.
two labels? Yeah, I stacked them on top of each other.
Very nice. We hadn't thought of that when that was being designed.
Okay.
And then again, oh, isn't that pretty? Just opening that up.
And it fits that 4-inch card. It actually
it's
leaves
generous.
It
Yes.
leaves a little bit of room so that all of your little
Yeah.
decorations will fit in there.
Very nice. Now, if you want to totally ignore the shapes, here is a flower that's been turned into sort of a poinsettia kind of maybe.
Maybe, but it's really more flowers from the same template that have
Yeah.
been stacked and turned on top of each other.
And we're going to open it like so. Good tidings. Another of the flowers on the inside.
All right, well, Christmas paper was used, but if any other paper was used, these are just flowers
Right.
stacked on top of each other, so not all for Christmas.
Right, but you get an envelope that's going to match, and an envelope that I bet you can use other places too.
Right.
So while we have 3 new templates,
And they aren't Christmas templates, but
Nope.
obviously they can be used for such cards.
or Halloween, or anything.
Anything else.
But 3 templates, but lots of ways to use them, and I
They're-
think you're gonna have a good time.
Yeah, they're lots of fun.